Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you all doing? Today, I'll be reviewing The Gray Man, a new Netflix movie directed by the Russo brothers. So let's get into it. And real quick, as always, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's very much appreciated. I'm planning to have a video for Nope, Jordan Peele's new movie coming out very soon when I get a chance to see it. I haven't been able to get to the theater yet, but I do plan at some point getting a review up for that. But without further ado, let's jump into my review for The Gray Man. So like I said, this is a new Netflix movie directed by the Russo brothers. It stars Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, Billy Bob Thornton's in there, and a few other people are in there as well. It's got a pretty good cast for a Netflix film. So I was pretty excited to check this one out. I've only seen the MCU movies from the Russo brothers. I haven't seen anything else they've done. But I do think they're good enough directors to where I could get excited about something they're doing, especially a big budget Netflix movie with a lot of stars in it. It just seems like the kind of movie where they would flourish, where it's similar enough to what they did with Marvel. So I was looking forward to it when I clicked on it and to watch it last night. And this movie, it's very similar to like a modern James Bond film. It's basically this kind of like Ryan Gosling plays his agent, and he essentially goes rogue and has to uncover secrets and hunt down his old agency, stuff like that, with Chris Evans playing the bad guy. It's very familiar to like a James Bond film, would be my best comparison. And honestly, having now watched this movie, I thought it was just a real disappointment. I really could just not get into this one. I wanted to like it. Like I said, it had all the things in it to make it a good film, but I was just let down. I did not really enjoy this movie for the most part. For starters, I think the story here was just a big letdown. It's so familiar. Like I said, it's similar to a James Bond film. It's similar to any spy movie you've seen before. It's just very repetitive. It's basically just that, and then you have a lot of action mixed into the film as well. It's just a huge letdown, not really creative, not clever. There's not many moments where I'm really invested in the story. Like I said, it's pretty much just plot description, then action, then plot description, then action. And it's really just that on repeat for 2 hours, and it just really didn't work for me. Like I said, I really just did not get invested in this story the entire time I was watching it. I was kind of just waiting for it to end because I just couldn't get myself to care about what was happening. Some of the characters I liked, like Ryan Gosling's character was fine, but that'll bring me to my next point where the characters were just not written well. They just were not developed whatsoever to make you care about them. Like Ryan Gosling's character in this, for example, he really just has no motive in this movie. He's just kind of doing this stuff throughout this film. You're kind of just supposed to side with him because that's how the movie portrays it. There's just not a lot of motivation in this film for the characters. They're not really written very well, and it's just, I really didn't care about these characters one way or the other, so that just really didn't work here. And like I said, all the dialogue in this film pretty much just sets up the plot and the story. There's not a lot of development where the movie just sets down and makes you care about these characters and tells these characters' story. It's just constantly moving forward with the plot, and that's very frustrating from a movie for me because I really like character-driven films where you really get to care about these characters throughout the runtime, and that just didn't work here. To move on to the positive side, or what worked in this movie for me, I thought the action in this movie was pretty good, and that was pretty much a guarantee with the guys who were directing it. In the budget they had, the action did work here. There's a lot of action in this movie. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but there is a lot of action in here, and for the most part, it is pretty good. Some of it's really well shot. There's some really good sequences. I thought the whole ending sequence was done pretty well. There's some good car chases in there. And overall, the action, like I said, is pretty good and very enjoyable. If you're coming into this movie looking for some entertaining action, that will deliver for the most part. Nothing mind-blowing. It does feel like it was kind of holding back. Maybe it's supposed to be rated R, but it wasn't, or whatever, because it really feels, a lot of the action feels a little lifeless. Where it feels like maybe it was supposed to be rated R with more blood and stuff like that. But regardless, I thought the action was pretty good. Some of the CGI was a little rough. There were some weird shots in here where they had to use CGI and it just didn't look very well. Other than that, like I said, the action was pretty good. And then lastly, this movie, it's entertaining. It's not horrible. I wouldn't give it a 1 star or something. It's entertaining enough. It's good enough. But it's just nowhere near as good as it should have been with the people directing it, with the actors in it, with the budget. It's just a very big disappointment. It's so bland, this whole film. And another thing is the cinematography at times is really good in this movie. It looks really good. There's like drone shots. There's some really good like lighting shots. Stuff like that is really good. But there's also some really bland shots in this film. Like the opening, it just becomes so like gray and it's like what you see in some of the Marvel movies, where the film just kind of feels like lifeless in a way. With how it's shot. So like cinematography was kind of good and bad. Some of it was really good, some of it was not good. But it's just, that was really frustrating for me. And overall, like I said, it's an entertaining film. I think you could enjoy it. I do think it's going to be in the middle for most people, where it's like, there's a lot of issues, but it's fine. I just was really frustrated with this movie. It really annoyed me with how disappointed I was, and how really just bland this whole movie felt compared to how it should have been. So aside from a few decent action sequences, I don't think this movie is very good. It really just feels like another big budget Netflix movie that just doesn't work and comes off as very bland and just will be entirely forgettable. So I'm going to give The Gray Man a 2.5 out of 5 and a 52%. So in conclusion, it's really this movie, I just couldn't get behind it. It's fine, it's not horrible, but it's just not good either. There's a lot of issues in here for me that just really made this movie feel very bland, feel very lifeless, and it just didn't really feel like it had a lot of heart to it. So anyways, that will do it for my review for The Gray Man from Netflix. As always, if you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. Be sure to share your thoughts on The Gray Man down below. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.